We're not doing business in the DMs. Find clients, find clients, find. I don't have time for that. And I just don't want to do it. Some of y'all, like, let's just jump right into it, right? So some of you all may feel like you just want to be a social media manager. And for those people, of course, I've created a video on that. But for some of you all, you may want to go a little bit past being a freelancer or working for somebody else, and you want to open up your own social media management agency. And if you're doing this, let me just say this now. That doesn't mean that you can't still have a 9-to-5, but you just know you're ready to get serious with this shit. Like, you're not playing the games, all right? So I'm here to help you. And in this video, I'm going to give you about 5 steps for things that you need to have in place to go ahead and create your own social media management agency. If you're new here, my name is Erica and I'm your personal social media management coach and your biggest cheerleader, here to help you open up and scale your own profitable agency. And I have an accelerator program called the Agency Edit that teaches you how to do every single thing I'm getting ready to go through with you. So let's get started, shall we? Now you may be like, girl, how you gonna tell me about owning an agency? Well, it's because for 7 years I have owned an agency. It started off social media management and then Instagram strategy, coaching social media manager. So it's evolved over time, but the foundation is the foundation, okay? And of course, like I said, this is what I teach my students. So let's go ahead and get started with step number 1. Step number 1 is the legal foundation. And if you've watched any of my videos, you all know that I don't play when it comes to being a legal business, okay? So we're talking about having an LLC, if that's what you decide that you want, an EIN number, a business bank account. We're not doing business in the DMs. We're not going to accept payments via DMs. We're not doing all that. So having a solid legal foundation backing your business, that's step number 1. We are a legal agency and you have to have this in place. Step 2 is going to be the agency foundation. So this is a lot about who you are, who you service. So think about it as like the personality behind your business or behind your agency. But we're talking more than just like the branding stuff. So while that's included, I want to learn more about who it is that you service, your packages, your pricing, your non-negotiables. Like, what are the things you absolutely are not going to do inside of your agency? For example, you may sit down and be like, all right, well, I don't want to offer email marketing. That's a non-negotiable. Or you may say, okay, I will offer blogs, or I'll do 2 blogs a month inside of my agency, even though I don't do social media management. All of that stuff goes inside of this step. And honestly, I feel like a lot of people will skip over this and just kind of figure out like the fun things or the pretty things like the branding, or they'll figure out like kind of what they want to offer, and they may not even solidify all of that. But again, when we're talking about having an agency, you have to have these things in place because these are the backbone of your business. Step 3 is your back-end systems. And y'all know, if you know me, you know that I love systems and workflows because this is one of the ways you can automate a lot of things in your business. So for example, let's say somebody wants to work with you and you have them fill out a lead form because that's something you have in place, right? They fill out that lead form, they automatically get an email where they can set up a meeting with you. You don't have to touch anything. You could be out kicking it with your friends, having a drink, and stuff is just getting done on the back end. That's what I'm talking about, systems and workflows. But not only that, but what's the process once somebody decides that they do want to have that meeting? Do they have to fill out a form? How do you onboard them? How do you get all of their information? That is an entire system. That is an entire back-end workflow that you have to have, because otherwise you're doing stuff differently for every single client and you really don't have anything solid in place. That also makes it harder to scale when you're just like grabbing shit, right? Trying to piece things together. No, have all this stuff already in place. And one of the biggest things that I love is having a CRM in place, a customer relationship management tool. I use Dubsado, and that's because that's the easiest way for me to connect with clients, especially when it comes to onboarding them and getting all of their paperwork, make sure I have everything from them, having their contract, make sure they're being invoiced, all of that stuff in one place. But again, you have to have a system for that. You can't just throw things around in there. Step 4 is marketing, and this may be one of y'all's favorite things, but this is how you put yourself out there. So it can be being on freelance sites like Upwork or Fiverr. It could be how you do your social media, all of that. How are you going to market your services to people so people know who you are? What tools are you using? And also, like, what's your messaging? So that kind of goes back to step number 1 with identifying who it is that you're talking to. So they kind of building on top of each other. But marketing is step 4, super important, because we got to put yourself out there. They're not going to come walk into your door in the beginning. Okay, that's why I tell people in the beginning, you won't necessarily have people walking up to you, but you can get to that point where you have that wait list and where you have people waiting to work with you. And the last thing in step 5, if you want to have your own social media management agency, you have to have something in place to manage the day-to-day and the month-to-month with your clients. This is what helps with client retention, because we don't want to be in a rat race of always trying to find clients. Wouldn't it be just beautiful if you could just have clients who are like, hey, I want to work with you for another 6 months. Hey, I want to work with you for another year. That takes away from you having to always have to try to go out and find clients. I don't have time for that. And I just don't want to do it. So this is where you'll be doing your end of month reports, your month to month strategies, your meetings, and your content creation. And that's the thing. I feel like a lot of people just jump to this step. Like they'll have like a package, right? Step 1, you'll figure out a package, you'll post some stuff on Instagram maybe, and then you'll go ahead and just start creating content. But you see, when we're talking about having a solid agency and being a social media manager, there's so many more steps. There's so much stuff that goes into it. You can't just skip around and have these amazing agencies that scale and last a long time, because we're talking about having an actual business here, okay? Now, if you want to learn how to do every single thing that I mentioned, like literally everything, and have templates and plug and play email swipe files, then I invite you to join the Agency Edit, which is my 8-week accelerator program. Because again, I teach all of this inside. So you get mentorship, accountability, community, and coursework all inside, live coursework. Like this is not some stuff where you're doing it by yourself. I'm in there helping you every step of the way. So if you feel like that's something you need, go ahead and check the description box for more information. And until next time,